Growing up, I was taught never to count another black man's pockets, never to wish a black man to lose his job. But there comes a point where you got to get that evaluation going. Good luck. Follow me. But, one thing I want to get out the way is this is more of an indictment of a situation, but it's going to sound like an indictment of a coach. Now that that's out the way, you do realize, according to openpayrolls.com, Texas Southern University pays Clarence McKinney, the head football coach, $280,500 a year. The basketball coach, well, they make $233,75. He's actually been to the tournament, won a couple of games in the tournament, and won the SWAC. It comes to a point in time when looking at what you're paying is not what you're getting. Coach McKinley, we've waited. We've heard the whole thing about he has freshmen, he has sophomores, he has juniors. Look, there was an article earlier this year which stated Texas Southern had the most NFL prospect talent on it of any HBCU. Now, agree with that article or not? The article came out there, I think it was HBCU something. I'll link it below. But the thing is, on paper, yes, Texas Southern has the most NFL talent of any HBCU. Honestly, on paper, Texas Southern has the best skill position group out there. Now, I know I'm going to hear the argument from FAMU. I'll hear the argument from Jackson State. I'll hear that argument. I got you. But you must also realize Texas Southern sits at the seat of power. They are in the biggest city of any HBCU. Any HBCU. There was a coach from the University of Houston who once famously said, you can spit down the hallway in Houston and hit a 3-star. The state of Texas has 247 5, 4, and 3-star athletes. The city of Houston has 60 of those. 60. 4, 5, 3-star athletes. If you want to count the 2-star athletes, add another 100. This is what I'm saying. In a city which is the biggest city of any HBCU, your attendance should not be what it is. In a city and the surrounding areas which has the most talent, 2, 3, 4, and 5-star talent of any HBCU outside of one, and we'll talk about them later, you can't argue about talent. So, comes down to it, it's about the money. It's about bringing in the money. It's about bringing in the wins. And that crap we saw against Toledo, I don't know why they didn't play Andrew Body. I don't even care. Have a team quit like that against a team with technically inferior talent. I mean that. Technically, Toledo had inferior talent. It's not something a coach can withstand. Which brings me to the other man on this photo. People, let me introduce y'all to somebody. Introduce y'all to a young man by the name Anthony Swell. I'm sorry. Morgan State's defensive coordinator, assistant head coach. 42 years old. Swell is one of the most accomplished coordinators in the HBCU ranks. Made his biggest mark at D2 Bowie State, his alma mater, where he generated championship-level defense drives with sacks and takeaways. He was in demand for FCS roles, but briefly going to Alabama State before Morgan State. But he's only 42 years old. And what they showed against Akron was not their fault. Akron won 24-21. The offense gave up 14 points. I want you just to hear that. The offense gave up 14 points. The defense, which he has control over, held a FBS team to 10 points. Now, the one thing HBCUs, especially in the SWAC, have noticed is a lack of defense, lack of hard-nosed defense. We know Jackson State came in there, and Jackson State has great defense. Yes. But to have a team that holds an FBS school to 10 points. And if you want to get really, really froggy about it, that FBS school that was held to 10 points only had a total, I believe it was what? 270 yards. 270. 5 turnovers. Now, about counting money. Morgan State, I'll leave this link below, from collegefactual.com. The Morgan State football coach averages around $167,000. Now, that will change, and I do believe there's more articles out here about that. But from what I see first from this article, the men's team's coaches make an average of 167. That's for head coaches. That's way more, or less, I'm sorry, than Texas Southern does. Texas Southern gets more institutional governmental support than Morgan State does. So they're in a better area, get more money from the government, and they have a better quarterback. Because one could argue, if you took Andrew Body and put him in Morgan State with that defense, they actually win that game. Hell, they win the Celebration Bowl. We took that defense and brought it down to Texas Southern. Texas Southern will actually be a threat in the SWAC. I'm not saying the season is lost, but they got a lot of ground to make up down here in Houston. And the best way to do it, get somebody in there now who can rally the team, get them to work and grind put in a scheme for their defense that's actually going to work. And if we don't get Anthony Swell now, we'll hear about him later as an FBS head coach because the man is that damn talented. Now, I know the season just started, but this is something going on for the last 3 years down in Houston. You can't continue to accept being mediocre, especially when you have a boatload of riches and talent around you to help get out of the doldrums. It's Coach Simmons, and I'm saying, Coach McKinley, it may be time to let you go. I'm out.